I'm I'm playing Serious Sam and playing. I'm gonna fucking turn my volume on the game real quick down to nothing. Voice audio, sound. Whoa, bro, that shit's on like max Kahona shit diaper zone. Oh, and I know how to change a shit diaper, and this volume's loud. How does it expect me to hear any voices? What do you expect me to do? Get all skibbity fucking gay with it? Not that that's a bad thing, of course. All right, that should be good. That should be good. Look it back. But anyways, uh, yeah, all because I said I didn't like the look of the fucking PlayStation 5. Which, okay, so here's the thing. I love my PlayStation 5. I love that I can play Postal on it. Like, to me, that was a system seller, the fact that I can play Postal on it. Right? That's good enough for me. I've been wanting to play Postal. Um, I get the PS5. I got the PS4 originally to play Bloodborne, right? Love Bloodborne. And I got it. And I got it to play Spider Man, which I hate Spider Man. I think it's a bad game. I think they did the characters wrong. I think Peter's really too flat. Also, it's just a worse version of Arkham Knight. And the only reason I doubled down on that take right there is because when the old Spider Man games, which I think are way better, when they came out, one of the big gripes was they were too like God of War. So okay, so the new game, which is just a rip off of Arkham Knight, comes out. No one ever calls it an Arkham Knight rip off, and it's acted like it's his most original thing. The only thing Insomniac did that was good was its movement. And I will say the movement's good, but the rest of the game is mid. Did it change Spider-Man culturally? No. The old Spider-Man games did. Like for example, Shattered Dimensions. There would be no Spider Verse without Shattered Dimensions. It was such a cool concept that Marvel started making comics about it. So without that shit, no Into the Spider Verse. Sorry, I just Spider Man nerded out, bro. I like. I was really excited for that game, and I played it, and I don't like the Batman combat that much. I think it's fine for Batman, but for Spider-Man, he's got so much strength, so much power, so many cool things he can do with web that we've done before. And then they force him using a tool belt. I'm like, he's not Batman, bro. It just made me sad, dude. It honestly made me sad. I didn't like the first one. Miles Morales was slightly better because his uncle was based, but Miles comes off as Steve Urkel in tights. It sucks too because like the Miles Morales in the movies is fucking awesome, dude. He's based, he's amazing. I love those movies. They literally had a foundation on how to make those movies, or how to make the Miles Morales cool, and they said, "Now fuck that, dude. We're gonna do whatever we want." Also, why the fuck am I reporting people to the EPA?
Wait, what?
You didn't do that. Like I wanted the 100% Spider-Man because I love Spider-Man that much. So I start doing the fucking eco missions for Harry, and I'm reporting people to the EPA because their car sucks, bro. I'm sorry, not everybody's rich and can afford a hybrid. That's literally a mission. Is you're reporting people who are poor because they don't have the money to get nice cars. Like, dude, that shit's cringe. I just there was so much in that game. Like, why am I fucking following birds around so much, dude? The birds in Spider-Man PS4 are worse than the balloon in Spider-Man 2, and those balloon missions can suck my fat chode. They can crawl right up under your urethra and then just get beat to death like a sounding rod. What are your thoughts on it, Mike? I just went on a fucking tear. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, you're good. I'm actually I'm fine too. Like I needed you
Oh yeah, I'm gonna check the YouTube right now, and I just keep talking, and I'll listen to the YouTube if I'm coming up.
you're gonna keep talking.
Yeah, bro, we're based. We're based. You're there. Yeah. So have you? Oh, based. We're based. You're there. All right. So I'm off of that. I don't want to hear my voice play back at me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Before I start the hiccups, I'm gonna take a big swig.
Yeah.
So what do you have you looked into the Wendigo drama coming out right now?
I did. I did.
So basically, what happened is another horror YouTuber made a video called "Conservative Horror Movies Are Shit," right? And the dude like comes in, and his part 4 of the video that he ended up cutting is like the reason I tuned into it is Brandon Buckingham on Twitter was fucking pissed about it. So I was like, what's going on, dude? Brandon seems like a pretty chill guy. So I was kind of curious. And the last time he got mad like this was Sneeko called him a rapist, which. So this guy calls Brandon Buckingham a rapist too, using the Sneeko lie without doing any research. And this guy considers himself an intellectual. And I watched the first hour of the video, and then I couldn't stand his fucking swarminess, whatever it is, that intellectual fault, like bullshit, where somebody wants you to know how smart they are, so they just fucking keep throwing $3 words. I mean, I went to college. I understand that that's how you get a term paper for the teacher to like cream on your face. But at the end of the day, dude, I'm not gonna buy your bullshit, and that's what he was trying to sell you. It was all intellectual, false intellectual bullshit, and it can tell because when you get to the part where he starts shitting on like bigger YouTubers, he's doing it for clout. I mean, I've done that. I have a video where I'm shitting on Review Tech USA. I don't like Review Tech USA. I think he's a fucking douchebag, and he.
With the guy who, I think he did videos where he talks about the two oldies.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, those are like the videos. This is during like the big
Yeah, I got some stuff from, and I actually made a video that I unlisted it because I unlisted a lot of videos from that time because it's not the type of content I make anymore. Um, I I unlisted a bunch of stuff mainly because my audio's bad. I decided to go with retrospectives because like I saw a lot of guys like this guy who are just like over trying too hard to be that fucking I'm a smart guy. You should realize how smart I am. And then if you're anything sort of right wing, you're fucking Nazi, but I'm smarter than you because you're not a real intellectual type shit. I saw some people like that. I also saw a lot of people that I admire that are also a lot like calmer paced. And I wanted to bring some of that schizo energy into it, right? Because that's kind of who I am. And the DK oldie things kind of cued me in, and I got so annoyed with like every day, bro, a new DK oldies video, to the point where it's like, yeah, you proved your point, and now you're just hating to hate, right? That type of shit bothers me.
valid.
And
Because
I
all this stuff is right. Well about marketing.
well, and that's fair, but you also have to remember that, like, I had a neighbor who bought stuff from DK Oldies, had some problems with it. He didn't have any problems with it, but I told him to check inside if it was dirty or anything. He did. It was kind of dirty, and I was like, you should see if they'll warranty it. They 100% warranted it. Send him a new one. It's in great shape. So their warranty seemed to work. He's bought like 3 consoles from him. He had a good thing, and I actually made a video at that time to kind of test the waters because I said DK Oldies isn't that bad, because they actually stand behind their warranty, which a lot of these retro places won't. Like I even like so unless your store's like good, they won't stand behind their shit because you're getting old shit. You know what I mean? I have one retro store that has you can pay $3 more and get a lifetime warranty on anything. And if you have any problems, they'll clean it. If it doesn't work, then they'll order you a new one, which is cool.
I have one retro near me. I hate them.
Yeah. So you know what I mean. The retro like the retro stores can fuck you.
I have yeah. Me, I have a story for you.
Go whenever you say whatever you got to say, buddy. I'm ready.
I was still with my time. This was like 2 years ago, and she was like, yeah, you need to get rid of this, because we're playing."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right. You just wanted more money.
Yeah.
So I $5,000 worth of games. I've been collecting like an investment. Like a big portion of that was I spent like $1,500 for $3,000 collection
Oh shit.
and took in $5,000, a bunch of peripheral, like anything and everything aside from 100. They were my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And $700.
Yeah.
Never again.
Yeah, dude, they'll fuck you. Like your audio's kind of choppy, but I get what you're kind of saying because like what happened basically, you brought the shit in, they offered you way less. It was like $700 on like a $30,000 collection is what I got, right?
I took 5,000.
Oh, 5,000.
Yeah, didn't argue it because I gave them my stuff. They were gonna tally it up over,
Time?
and then like owner of the chain like bent. So there was like no negotiation.
Oh, dude, that's weird. See, that's sketchy. I would have just asked for my stuff back.
It was too late. They like it was whatever. I wasn't gonna fight about it. I was already fighting. So
Yeah, no,
too stressed.
that's fucked, dude. That's cringe. Like I've been slowly collecting Xbox original games, but wait, before I get on this, I was gonna go back to the Wendigoon thing. So yeah, basically he comes out. I go on so many tangents, but he comes out and he says all this stuff. It's just a bunch of like stuff like, oh, and Wendigoon like posts stuff that he has a gun, and I'm like, okay, like that doesn't make you a bad person that you own a gun, but and that it just starts going downhill from there. It's like, oh well, when he was in middle school, he was a part of a he started a meme page that was like well, what's that group? The fucking Boogaloo Boys. It was like the Boogaloo Boys, and I'm like, I'm sorry, bro, but everyone's been a part of starting a meme page, and then there's been those guys that took it a little bit too far, and you don't want to be on there anymore, dude. You dip out. I died.
Yeah, the whole reason why I have that music with my old one from like high school is just
Yeah, dude, and the way so he can say whatever he wants, and he's got like people defending him. The big problem for me,
did he bring up his religious views?
yeah, he definitely did. And you know what pisses me off about that? Okay, so I'm like, I'm not really religious, which I've told you before, right? But I am. How do I change weapon? Hold on.
Basically, this leftist guy is like anti-religion, anti-gun rights. He's anti-First Amendment, anti-Second Amendment.
Oh yeah, dude, it's all that stuff. It's all the same. And you know what's funny to me? Lumping in somebody because of their religion, because he basically says like everyone who's like Christian is like bad. It's the same bullshit as always. And I would like to see him take that same energy to like, because I'm Muslim, right?
You're Muslim?
Yeah, but
Wait.
not like hard. Like I converted because it was like the thing to do because my wife is like half Kuwaiti, so like when we go over there, we want everything to be cool with the Kuwaiti government. But I'm like, and there is stuff that's cool about it. I think they have decent family values and stuff like that. There is like reasons why I like the religion, and the fact that even though they don't see Jesus as the prophet, they or as the son of God, he's still considered a prophet. So they still believe in the Bible, right? Anyways, before I get too religious, but like that's like saying like that all Muslims are terrorists, right? It's just such a dishonest argument to say that because there's the majority are don't believe in violence. So it's the same equivalence. Like, oh, so if you're Christian, you're on automatically just this like homophobic, racist, whatever. And I'm like, that is such a false equivalence that it's just such a or like intellectually dishonest viewpoint. And I hate that they don't do it like if they're like, oh, so. And I hate the people on the right who do the thing about the Muslims, right? That they're all terrorists. It's just as intellectually dishonest.
Right.
I
The way I look at it, it's like there's ignorance everywhere in every community.
exactly.
You have a group of white people. There's always the people who are just dumb and racist. You have Christians who are always the homophobes, whatever. Now, granted, within Christianity, it's wrong to be gay, so you could fight.
Well, okay, so it depends on which which viewpoint you take. I think the didn't the no, that's the Catholics changed the
Yeah,
they change it. But I mean, it depends. Also depends on the Christian sect you're in and how they read that passage from the Bible too. So yeah, but yeah, you know what I mean. There are Christian churches that don't believe that it's wrong because they interpret it a different way. And you see, you could end up in these long tirades about what you view on different subjects and to lump everybody up and that I'm just kind of making broad strokes here to counteract his viewpoint on that, to lump everyone in to this hardcore I just don't like it. It's like oh, so you're religious, so that means you think Doom should be pulled off the shelves because in the 2000s there was some crazy religious people who didn't like Doom. Or oh, you burn Harry Potter books. You know what I mean? You know what I mean though? Yeah, it's like garbage. It's garbage. It's like I just hate that intellectual dishonesty. I think it's so fucking cringe. Like you should be fucking drowned in a skibbity toilet. Like in Minecraft, right? But in Roblox. No, no, if you go into Roblox, bro, you just might end up just getting molested. That's yeah, you'll be playing in the toilet while people watch on Roblox. That is a scary place. I will never touch Roblox. My child never touching Roblox.
I have no account from like my youth, my middle school and high school days. I had all my original friends on there. I still talk to some of them, but we just played an FPS game.
Oh yeah, see, I know. I've heard of people doing that. See, Roblox was before my time, dude. I'm 29, right? So my first console was the Xbox original. So me and my friends were what?
You mean after you come, like onwards, like it came after you?
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. I said it backwards,
You're good, no worries.
bro. I just went autism on a beat. I'm sorry.
You're good, dude. Hell yeah.
Dude, too many poopy diapers in my life to remember how to say words. But I just think it's funny because like another thing too is like if Turkey Tom were to make a video, or if Brandon Buckingham were to make a video where none of the things he said were correct, he'd be dragged through the mud. And this guy starts getting dragged through the mud, and you have like these unhinged leftists that are just out there defending him.
The Twitter bots.
Yeah, dude, and like
The
uh,
Twitter bots.
I know, dude, I know.
Like I love Reddit because I love the dueling communities, but I hate how fucking left that whole pod is.
Oh, it's so bad. I mean, I like, and the fact that the far left isn't looked at like the far right bothers me in such an extent. It's like you are
There's unbelievable on both sides.
exactly, dude. Exactly, 100 fucking percent.
I would argue that the far left is more damning than the far right. The
I,
far right posts funny memes.
well, that's not the real far. The you want to go damaging far right, you go like Nick Fuentes, bro, and that dude, like people like him are fucking.
I mean, look, he's not wrong.
I know.
Far far left.
Well, there was cases back in like the 2000s of some like pretty fucking crazy far right people, like the Southern Baptists, like that crazy branch of the Southern Baptists were pretty bad. They were picketing funerals and they were like throwing things at fucking families, and I mean there can be just as bad on both sides. I'm just saying right now it's the problem with it be looking so bad right now for the far left, and I'm purposely fence sitting for more of a justification of the argument, if that makes sense. Um, if right now the problem is the justification of pretending that the far left isn't doing anything wrong, and that's dishonest to me, and that's why it's overlooked so much, and why they're allowed to get away with so much. And when you tell people it's okay to get away with shit, you then open the door for more shit to be. Uh, yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, it just is like you're opening the floodgates to worse shit to happen, and then pretending it's not happening. Because I lived in Portland, bro. I saw all the horrors of that place firsthand, and they fucking pretended like none of it was happening. We almost had to evacuate from our. We were out in the city limits of Portland.
Oh, you in Portland?
Not anymore. No, I'm in Florida. But I lived in Portland for like a while, and I moved here because it was more base, bro. Because I wanted small towns back. Because it was so funny. They were like, "Oh, gee, there's no problems. Portland's fine." And I remember like I had to go through Portland one time. Like when I lived in Portland proper, we used to leave our car unlocked so they could break into it because we got so sick of our alarm going off and our neighbors leaving nasty notes on our car. It's just like people are like, well, that's just how it is around here, and I'm like, yeah, well, that's the problem. That's the problem. And then like when the protests turned into riots after dark, and it wasn't like the protesters who did it. Like to be honest, it was the unhinged homeless people that were taking advantage of it, and it got out of hand. And the cause of the unhinged homeless people were the fact that it was just like allowing it all to happen. Oh, absolutely. Well, and there's also a point where he gets like a little cringe with too many rules because I don't like government. I'm fully against government, but like you need somebody who's like, all right, so we can't have this happening on the streets. We want you to be able to fully express yourself. We want you to be able to protest, do all your stuff. But like homeless people that are endangering our community, they cannot be allowed here. We need to figure out some sort of program or something to like help them lead more constructive lives. I don't know if it's a work program or what. There needed to be something like that, but instead they were just pumping money into the homeless people, like giving them like thousands of dollars a month to live, and then wondering why more homeless people kept showing up. And it's like this is your problem, and then they start the chaos, and then Antifa was like a big problem there. Dude, it just like it kept escalating. It kept escalating to a fucking point that it was so bad. And we moved to the outskirts to stop this problem. But one time, somebody accidentally threw a Molotov cocktail into the forest, and it started a fire. And we almost had to evacuate from city limits because the fire was like it was moving away from the city, and then it started moving back. All because somebody was fucking nuts, bro. Somebody was all sorts of nuts. Yeah, 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 yeah. That was like that's like the people too, like even the people on the right who like 100% there was nothing wrong with like the January 6th thing. Like most of those people were peaceful too, but once they broke windows, bro, I was like, you've done the wrong thing. That to me. I was like, you did the wrong thing. You're fucked. Like I'm not. I like you're. I disavow anything that happened there. You know what I mean? And I feel like you should have the same opinion regardless of what size. Once like chaos starts to happen, you should be like, those people should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law for disturbing what should have been a very peaceful event. Yeah, I like, but I mean, they have the same. There's the same art. There's people on the left who say the same thing about that. There's like right wing people who go to the protests and try to inflame them as well. I mean, that's a both sides thing. So to me, I try when it comes to stuff like that. Um, there is full there. I mean, it's a similar thing. I mean, it's all. If you were the government at that point, right, you would try to inflame both sides because the best, most easy thing would be to have both sides at their throats, trying to just to cause civil unrest, and that civil unrest will lead people to weird areas So if you could do it to both sides, that would be the better position to sit on the government. So I think there's a little bit of like influence on both sides happening at these different protests to create the chaos so that CNN could then run that all right wingers are extremists, and then Fox can run that all left wingers are dangerous, and that keeps us from finding any middle ground, and we slowly start becoming more and more separated from a count or a more middle viewpoint because oh no, somebody's upset. Give me a second, bro. I will be right back. My baby's crying. All right, I'm back. She needed to be changed, so she was getting in the middle of being changed, and I don't know if you know this. When babies get changed, they don't like it. Babies do not like that shit. No, so she'll calm down in a second once she's fully done. What? What? They have. They've had sit-ins in government building and stuff. It just is not. It was they needed an excuse to get mad at right wing people. They found it. It was election season. They utilized it as a political tool, which is not surprising. That's just how shit works. Like all politicians use protests and civil unrest as political tools. It's pretty simple. But before we get too far down the January 6th thing and I get my channel demonetized, I want to get back to the main point at hand because the whole thing is just about if you're I am fully willing to have somebody that I 100% because me and you right now we're having stuff that we don't 100% agree on, and it's because I'm politically I used to be really 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 political person because I lived in Portland, and it's kind of forces you because everybody wants you to be up on every policy, and I found myself going down a real right-wing pipeline, not I was real bad, but I was listening to Steven Crowder every day. I really liked him for a long time, and there was this guy on his show called Dave Landau that I thought was fucking hilarious. So there was a lot of stuff that I really liked about his show for a little while there. But he started going down the same thing where I started noticing the hypocrisy, and some of his opinions changed depending on and they all do this. So, and you listen to politics long enough, you start to hear this constant or this continual trend. Dude, why is it this continual trend where it's just the same thing every week? Every single week you'll hear the exact same thing, bro. It'll be a different context, but it'll be let's create the same drama over it. It's the same thing if you start liking the Quartering after a month of listening to the Quartering, you're okay, I know exactly what he's going to say in every single video. And to me, I lost interest in that type of shit. Well, you know, you're cutting out bad right now, so I just know that you follow some people on Snapchat. A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, you hit a point where I don't understand these people who can just live politics every day and eat and breathe it because I find it depressing. I find it fucking blackpilling. I find it just like anybody I feel like has that has no other hobbies. Like I don't have time to be like obsessed with fucking politics every day, and that goes into like why creators like this are always trying to. So his thing, I don't even think that he actually hates Wendigoon because he's. I mean, he hates him because of that his political or his assumed political leaning, right? Because Wendigoon hasn't really come out and said what he is, but he has an assumed political leaning, and I think the reason he's so upset is because he has more subscribers than him. I think that's really it, and it's an ego thing. So because started looping in all everybody he loops in is a big content creator, and I think it makes him mad that people that don't agree with him have fans, and that bothers him, which I don't understand. I want like even this guy, the guy, his name is like in praise of shadows or something like that. In praise of shadows, yeah. He, yeah, I can hear you now. Oh, absolutely better. Yeah, dude. Audio. So no, you're good. I was just saying, like, I want him to succeed. I don't want anybody to like. I don't wish for anybody's downfall. I can think somebody's like content's cringe and not like it, but if they have fans out there and they're doing what like even Hassan Piker, I think he's a fucking clown. I think he's like garbage at his job, but people like him. People like him. They have the right to watch him. They have a right to like enjoy his content. He's starting to see a slide of people not watching it, and I think what he needs to do is find a way to like morph his content to be a little bit different. So, but that's just how I personally look at him. Is like, okay, you suck as a human. I don't like you. You're in kind of a rut where nobody really fucking is. Like people are starting to tune out. So that means you should change your content. But this guy. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's true. Yeah, no, he's garbage. I think he's garbage, but I still don't want to like. I'm not gonna like root for him to fail. I want to like. I want everybody to do well on the platform because by us all existing, it shows that you don't need to succeed on the traditional route, and I think that's cool, regardless of how you sit. And I I would love if I made like a got decently big on retrospectives. I would allow anybody to be a part of my videos. You know what I mean? I I had you on a video. I never once asked you like anything other than what's your least favorite game, and you were you so So what happened was I actually had some people bail on my project at the same time that I had I had went to one of PS2 or Die's stream, right? And I saw I showed up and he said we were working on a project, and then you showed up and he said that you were a YouTuber. I had some people who had bailed on my project, and I had some openings, and so I was like, this is perfect. I need somebody. This guy might be available. I had you hit me up on Discord. I added you to the project. That was oh yeah, for sure, for sure. That's exactly what I'm doing here. I haven't watched Polygons yet. I haven't watched either of their content yet. I've been so busy. Yeah. Oh, dude, I only did the shorts recently. So I made two shorts. I used to do shorts a lot, and then I stopped doing them because I don't like them. I was doing TikTok first before I did YouTube, and I was going to do news content, and I cleared my whole channel so that I could do retrospectives and long form content because that was being more successful for me. And I found out that I enjoy working on a video, long video, more than I like or working on daily news content because it stresses me out. Yeah, and you just start becoming really dishonest, where you're not actually researching the topic as well as you should. Yeah, you turn it. I started seeing myself. I didn't want to ever become a Dreamcast guy, and I started seeing myself become a Dreamcast guy. You know who Dreamcast guy is? He sucks, dude. He's fucking garbage. He so he Okay, anybody who's doing daily news who has a console bias is already I'm already gonna be like, you fucking suck. And I follow and to me that already makes, like, if you were to start doing daily news content, that's going to make you intellectually dishonest with the actual news. You're going to have a bias, so you're going to shit on whatever one console is doing, and that's kind of unfair. Well, it yeah. Yeah, yeah. But like, I don't like when people are putting out stuff and it's almost like they're rooting for one to fail, and it's not like overly saying it out loud, but it's this vibe about it, and you get people on both sides like that, and I just hate it. Like, your Colt Eastwood's the same way for Xbox. It's just like, oh, everything's gonna be a banger that comes out about, and you're not allowed to criticize anything. I hate it. I hate it, dude. It's like those fucking Xbox guys who call every game that comes out from PlayStation a walking simulator, but then cap up Hellblade. Hellblade is a walking simulator. I liked Hellblade. I like a lot of the Sony walking simulators, but like, to be honest, they turned fucking God of War into a walking simulator. Like, they did. Like, let's be a little bit honest with it. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, just they can say whatever the fuck they want. That's gay. That is yeah, but I've heard that before. That is something people say. That is something people say. It's a cinematic experience, and I'm like, go fuck yourself. It's a walking simulator. And like, not that saying that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Like, a game can be kind of a walking simulator and still be good. I found Hellblade to be semi decent. I found the first God of War 2018 to be decent, even though it wasn't as fun to play as the old God of Wars. Yeah, and there was three. It was PS3 era. Yeah, and I don't like the way they took it. To be honest, I find so it's backwards. It's innovating backwards, if that makes sense. So the original God of War games took a style that was already popular, the hack and slash, and then changed like the Devil May Cry thing to be more of a linear storytelling experience with a that it felt different than Devil May Cry. It felt like it could coexist with that, but like you play God of War 2018, you can literally play any or modern hack and slash, it like Assassin's Creed or whatever. It all feels the same. And that to me, it felt kind of regressive, but I liked the story. Now, God of War Ragnarok, I think that game's fucking trash. I don't like it. I didn't have fun with it. I thought it was a stupid story. It retreads the exact same ground that God of War 2018 did, except for now Kratos is whinier with goofier side characters, and the plot's figured out within like the first 10 minutes, bro. I really did not like God of War 20. It had better boss fights. It had better boss fights. I will give it that. But anyways, what were you gonna say? Ugh. So, well, to actually even before that, it was what it was Assassin's Creed before. So, I would say the older Assassin's Creed are close. Yeah. So Assassin's Creed really changed the game with the first few entries and a lot of games started going for that more tactical style. I mean, it was Assassin's Creed and Batman that really changed things. The Arkham games. And once those happened, it seemed like everything decided it needed to be a third person, open world, action adventure, heavy cinematic. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, I'm a little fed up with it. Like, also, I think another thing that makes me so like burnt out on that genre is how people will call like FPS games generic, and then they'll go play the same fucking three Sony story games, and I'm like, just self-report, bro. Just fucking self-report, because I can like both, but to pretend that one is generic and some of the best stories to ever come out about like in video game history have been some of the SMFPS games. Like BioShock, fucking Black Ops 1, Wolfenstein, Halo, Half-Life. Like Halo 2 has one of the greatest stories put in video games, and it's so much different than anything else. And like BioShock, same thing. But now we're gonna pretend like all FPS games are generic. But oh, we got dodge parry mechanics. Fucking woohoo! Like, fuck off. Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. Dude, the sports game people are just coping that their games are garbage now. Like, yeah, I don't. Yeah, and so they can make fucking card opening videos. I used to really like Madden. I used to really like Madden, and I used to play this game called NFL Fever back in the day that I really liked, and there was some like good fucking football games that I enjoyed. I like that I could like have like these legends play on the same team, and now you have to like open packs and you have to fucking set. It's just too much for me. It's not fun to me. I don't I don't hate microtransactions. There's a lot of people that are out there. I don't mind cosmetic microtransactions too. I think if you see something goofy, like you want to put like cat ears on your Spartan in Halo, Go fucking ahead, customize it as you want. If you want to pay a little extra for that, that's fine. But when the essential portions of the game to get there is buying microtransactions like it is with sport games, that's where I have a problem because it's pay to win. That's where I start having issues. Oh, they can. Oh yeah, yeah. It's awful. Yeah, I fucking hate Rockstar at this point. I'm so sick of Rockstar, dude. And so here's the thing. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is a solid game. It's a solid game. I think it's a good game. I think it's a really good game, in fact. I don't like it as much as the first game, though. And there's a solid reason why I don't like it as much as the first game. And it's because I feel like whoever worked at the old Rockstar had a more tongue-in-cheek vibe. Everything kind of had a comedic tone. And modern Rockstar, I feel like it's taking itself kind of serious. We'll see with GTA 6, but... Oh, I hate these fucking things. We'll see with GTA 6, but I feel like Red Dead Redemption 2 took itself way too fucking seriously at times. Yeah, and the first game isn't short either, though. What is it, like 40 hours or something? No, I think there's quite a bit more. I think because yeah, John's not even dead at that point, is he? Yeah. Yeah, it's a long game. It's a very long game, but the wacky side characters you meet, like, so you meet wacky characters in Red Dead Redemption 2, but the ones you meet in Red Dead Redemption 1 are so peak, dude. You got the crackhead. What is his name? The moonshine guy. Oh, I'm sorry, but there's like I thought you meet him kind of early in the you meet him kind of early in the game, and you just kind of go up to a dock, and he's just chilling there, and he's like fucking wild, dude. He weighs like 3 pounds, soaking wet. Yeah, Irish. Yeah, yeah. He, I can't remember their names because I played that on the 360 years ago. Yeah, I need to replay it. That's one. Problem. Like, I'm mostly gonna space out my context so I can play longer games like that because I've been trying to force myself to play shorter games so that I can maintain a constant upload. And I have scheduled uploads through mid-August. I know you're doing every day. Oh, there you go. I did that for a while. I would use so when I was living at before I bought my house, I was living at in my RV because I moved down here and I was not going to rent. I just was like, I'm buying a house. So I I was living at an RV park and their Wi-Fi was garbage. So what I would do is I'd play the games and use the shitty RV Wi-Fi to upload it to. I could only play Xbox games too because PlayStation needs a higher ping to upload its videos. So I was the console. So what I would do is I would capture footage and then I would send it to the cloud and then I would download it on my phone using my data because I have unlimited data. And I would my RV park had terrible reception, so I'd drive up the road to a gas station here in Florida, and then I would download the videos at the gas station after I bought a Red Bull. and I'd sit in their parking lot, download videos, and then I would go home. I would piece all the videos together, and then I would make my video. Yeah, that was kind of how. That's almost exactly how I did it too. Yeah, it was. It was stuff. Like I have Wi-Fi now, which is great because it's made my videos easier. Because like, I have like a couple videos I have in the works. I just finished. Well, I mean, these videos won't come out for. I don't even know how long. Yep. Nope. All retrospectives. How is it? No, no, you're fine. How is it? I honestly had no faith in that video. To be honest with you, holy shit, this fucking game. So the Jade Empire video turned into this fucking nightmare because there was a section of that game where I just didn't like it anymore, and then it made me love it again by the end. And trying to find a way to fill that space and kind of talk about it, I just kind of went off, and then it turned into an hour and a half, like almost an hour and a half video. And I was just worried that I fucking rambled too much in the video. Well, yeah, I just don't script, which makes it kind of difficult. So, my process on how I do that is I take the clips, I upload them. I have my Xbox set to where it uploads 1 minute clips. Every time something cool that I want to talk about happens, I capture that. Then I add it all to CapCut on my phone, downloading it from the cloud. And I do the same thing with PlayStation. So if on PlayStation I'll capture like a minute, I will upload it to the cloud. I will then cut parts that I think retrospectively look back, don't think they mattered as much as when and fit my narrative as well. And other stuff I will leave in. I will talk on them. I will add in. I'll ad lib jokes, kind of just on the fly. I make sure to try to make as many dick jokes as I do vagina jokes, just because fucking equality, baby. Um, uh, yeah, it's just kind of all ad libbed. I did do my first scripted video. I think it's a bit. There's things I like about scripting a video, and there's things that I really don't like. So one thing that's cool about scripting is the fact that you have already written down what you're thinking about putting in the video. My problem is when I'm trying to record it, I come off really flat or it turns into word salad. Because I lose my place, or I misread a word because my eyes decide that they hate me, and I should I should use dildos to scoop them out of my head. Um, I did think the video that I just scripted out turned out really good. I didn't actually finish that game, so eventually somebody will probably tell me that it's a bad video because I didn't finish the game, but I just couldn't play it anymore. I didn't like it. Sometimes when you're like 20 hours into a game and you don't like it, bro, you just gotta give it up. I might have been 15 hours in. I don't know. I was a long ways into this fucking game and I just didn't like it. Wasn't having fun. And my thing is if I play a game for a long time, I'm going to put a video out on it, and I will explain why I didn't finish it and what led me to that point. But because I have a video where on a game that's like 20 minutes long, and I don't even think I got halfway through the game. I couldn't play it. It was just so hard. But the interesting thought. So this is kind of a spoiler for that video when it comes out, but by the time it comes out, this will be such a deeply fucking seated VOD, and people are like Wendigoon drama. That shit's old. So there's a game called Dead to Rights. I don't know if you've ever played it. It's a Capcom's Max Payne, right? It has inverted left to right joystick movement. Already that makes me nauseous. I just don't like. Well, not really full nauseous, but inverted controls are not my thing. I can't do them. It drives me nuts. Another thing that I found out was really interesting about that game. So, during the PlayStation 2 Xbox era, the Xbox was leagues more powerful than the PS2. It wasn't even close. Like in terms of power, the Xbox was so much more powerful than the PS2. It was on it. It was playing. It was playing on a different fucking field, right? That's why Half-Life 2 came out. Like Half-Life 1 came out on the PS2, but Half-Life 2 did not come out on the PS2. I think. I think that's how it works. But anything, if you look at like game quality compared to Xbox on titles, a lot of times they were released first on Xbox because the companies didn't have to spec down. They would spec down later for PS2, and then they would skip GameCube because they didn't want to put their game on shitty fucking small discs. But the Xbox was much more powerful. It was just a thing. So they released first on Xbox. And what happened with Dead to Rights is the best looking game and probably the best. It plays a little better. The problem is it is super fucking hard. And one of the complaints and why it got kind of any bad reviews is how hard the game was. And this isn't like they couldn't finish Cuphead hard. This is like, or finish the opening of Cuphead hard. This is like actually fucking hard. Like the whole game is peek and shoot bullshit. And you go to when they put it on the PS2 and GameCube, what they did was they had to scale down the graphics. Then the second thing they did was they added a difficulty selector so that people could choose different difficulties in the game, which isn't on Xbox. You have one difficulty on Xbox, and it's fucking tits to the wall hard. And the hardest difficulty on PS2 is still easier than the only difficulty you get on Xbox, which is just fucking wild. So even the devs were like, well, yeah, we kind of fucked up by making this too hard. Here's 3 options, and none of them are as hard as the Xbox version. So, sorry, Xbox guys, get good. And I can't play a game with inverted controls on, like, ultra difficulty. That's not going to happen. But yeah, it was a nightmare. It was super hard. I had spent, like, 8 to 10 hours grinding my way through the three levels I played, and it was that hard. I was just dying and resetting, and I was nose to the grindstone. And because I knew I had a kid on the way, I wanted to create a good back catalog so that if I missed or if I needed to take longer on a video, I would have that opportunity. So I knew that I had to drop the game and move on. And I was like, I've already put in like 12 hours in this game. I might as well make a video. But yeah, it was fucking nightmare. But that's a little cool PS2 lore for you on a game where it's weird, or different ports for different consoles. I think that type of shit's cool. I don't know if you actually cared or if it was just fucking garbage nonsense getting spewed at you. But yeah, I thought that was interesting enough to fill a video enough to make the video on it. That's something like with what? Oh, that's unfortunate. That is mighty cringe. I need to switch guns. I'm trying to remember. There it is. I haven't played this game in a while, so I can't remember the controls. There I am. Have you played Serious Sam? Bro. Fuck, that's a game I need to buy. I need to... No, not you need to buy. Not you need to buy. So Serious Sam 2 is a game that's like super controversial with like... I guess the gameplay is fantastic, but the devs were kind of forced into making it a teen game, so the devs don't really consider it canon. So when they because they were kind of forced to make it a little more goofy, but like fans of Serious Sam say the game is really good because the devs actually made a good game. They just don't consider it canon, and I still want to play it. But when they released the Serious Sam collection that had part 1 and 2 of the first game, because that was how PC games released back in the days. They'd release 1 or 2 parts like Half-Life did. They did that with Serious Sam 1, and so you have the first encounter and the second encounter, and then it just skips to Serious Sam 3. It's like, that other game doesn't exist. So if I want it, I gotta buy a physical copy for my original Xbox, which I really want to do, because I love this series. I think if I had to explain Serious Sam, it's like it's hard as fuck. It's like legitimately hard as fuck. But comment to it? Nothing. Nothing's like Serious Sam. I've never played another game like Serious Sam. It's an FPS, yeah. I guess you could say that it kind of has like Doom, Half-Life, Halo vibes. The different, if you were going to compare it to a Doom, because it came out, it's like Duke Nukem, because Serious Sam is kind of like a Duke Nukem type character. The difference is they were like, okay, we're going to make this game that's feels kind of like a boomer shooter, or not a boomer shooter, but like a, I don't know, millennial shooter. I'm gonna call them that, millennial shooters, like the 2000s shoot or the 90s 2000 shooters. It feels kind of like that. Yeah, it feels a lot like those fucking Half-Lives and stuff. But instead of a lot of enemies like Doom did, it sends a gajillion enemies at you. So you're just constantly afraid of your life. It's a game where the like meme about it is you're constantly moving backwards. You move forward 3 feet to move 7 feet back, because you'll get to the new era and it'll just be like 80,000 people flooding the screen heading your way. You're fighting entire armies of people. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. On normal, the game is fucking hard. On easy, it's not bad. There's points where, because on easy, it still has points that it's really hard where it gets late game, but it's not too bad. It's playable. Because I played the first Serious Sam on normal, and I wanted to kill myself. There's a part where there's a death run in every Serious Sam game where you get close to the end of the game, and you'll just be running down a hallway kind of design, and it'll throw so many enemies at you that you feel like you're going to have a panic attack. And it's beautiful. It's honestly beautiful. You're just seeing things die at like a level you've never seen things die in a video game. I had never heard of these games until Serious Sam 4 was ported first to Xbox on Game Pass. And what the fuck? And then I played it. It was still a little rough when it hit consoles, so I just dropped it right away. And I'd seen a video on it saying it was good, and I'm like, fuck it. The collection is on PlayStation. I'm going to pick it up. I started playing it, and I fell in love with the games, and now I love every single one of them. People say Serious Sam 4 isn't that great. I think it's the best one in the series. like the most fun factor. It looks the best. It plays the smoothest. It's a little campy at times, but that's why I like the series because I miss Duke Nukem a lot. And this is kind of like the last action hero in video games that still is 100% who he is. It's a great game. I think they're on the PlayStation Plus collection. Oh. Mm. Oh, there you go. I do the same thing. Some of them are garbage. Like I haven't even downloaded Saints Row. Eventually, I'm gonna make a video on it as like and call it like the downfall of Saints Row. Yeah, I'm gonna play the whole game and I'm gonna call it the downfall of Saints Row. And I'm gonna take a take on it that I know is gonna piss people off because I hate this always support the developers bullshit. If a developer, like if enough developers leave a studio and the studio releases dog shit and people defend them because they made a good game in the past, that doesn't make sense to me. Like I saw most recently with Arcane. Arcane deserved to be shut down. Arcane Austin. They deserved to be shut down. They were everybody from Prey had already left. And they went and made Weird West, which no one fucking played. All these fucking people who came out on the internet after they shut down Arcane Austin was like, oh, dude, none of those people supported Prey when it came out. They found it later. And then when Weird West came out, nobody supported that. But they're here to complain that Microsoft shut down Arcane Austin. It's like, guys, nobody was there anymore. They were a shell of a studio. And if you played Redfall, you would understand why they were shut down. It was that bad of a game. Like, it was that fucking bad. There's nothing in Redfall worth playing. It is the worst experience I have played in a very long time. I didn't have any fun, and it's sad because I love vampires. All I wanted was a fun game where I could kill vampires, and it couldn't even give me that. It was just this creatively bankrupt game. It wasn't the FPSs that were like the FPS bullshit that was bad. It wasn't the open world. It was there is nothing to it. It's nothing. The game is nothing. It's not fun. It doesn't have a story. The cutscenes are literally in-game screenshots with a blue jizz filter. It's nothing. It's a nothing game. And if I were to go to work, right, and I were to show up, go into the office, sit down, and then just throw shit out on the floor and say that I stalked for the day or something, my boss would literally look at me and be like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this always. And then they fire me. But we're supposed to pretend that every studio deserves to stay open forever. I just don't. It's like Lionhead. You, well, you can say you can say that, but like all that Bethesda told them is they had to make a their game had to be have co-op functionality and some multiplayer functionality. All the creative stuff on Redfall was Arcane's. And then when they got bought by Microsoft, Microsoft gave them an entire like year and a half extra to do whatever they wanted. So they decided to make the game more single player, get rid of all the live service elements, and then they released it, and it was still dog shit. So you're telling me you had an entire year and a half and you did nothing? You just fucking released the buggy bullshit you released? Like, why? I was like, if my boss gave me a whole extra year to finish, or extra time to finish the project, and I still really produced a bad product, they would fire me. That's just how it works. Well, what it wasn't really halted. I mean, it was like the game basically from day one was a shit show, and they had chosen to go down this path. They'd invested enough money, and Bethesda said, or not, well, ZeniMax, the people who own Bethesda said, listen, we've dumped enough money into this. You got to finish the game. give us something, like figure it out. And they're like, okay, and then they just like sat on their ass. And then when Microsoft picked them up, they sat on their ass some more. Like it's they if they didn't get the couple delays they got, right? And if there was something redeeming, the stealth didn't work, the AI didn't work, nothing worked in game. Well, there's nothing to bite onto story wise. All they did was make a game or a shitty Far Cry with vampires that barely functioned, and you had extra time to make it work. Like that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it just found to me the thing that bothered me the most about it, like where people like defending it. It's like what else were they going to do after that? Like there half of the studio had left after Prey. So it was kind of a shell of a fucking studio anyway, and the Arcane that people know is Leon, and Leon's still open. So, and Leon, last game they released was successful. Now Tango, I don't know why they fucking closed Tango. That makes no sense to me. The only thing I can think is when Shinji Mikami left, they're like, why do we still have this studio? That's it. That is literally it. I don't understand. It pissed me off when I saw the Tango close, because that means I won't get an Evil Dead or Evil with. Yeah, it happened at the exact same time as Arcane. Well, yeah. It's the inflation, the economy. It's also the COVID boom, uh, like hurt the industry a lot because people aren't sitting home playing video games every day. There's a lot that's led up to this. It's just I like Tango. It sucks. That one I felt, but I didn't give a shit about Arcane Leon or not Arcane Leon, Arcane Austin. I also think that Prey was highly overrated. I think it's one of the most overrated games of all time. Um, Especially when Prey 2006 is one of my favorite games, and then I went into Prey 2017, and I'm like, oh, let's fight the same version of Venom 87 times throughout this game. Like, it's fine. It's a good immersion sim, but it has the most boring weapons and it has the most boring enemy design. So the only thing that's interesting is the ship you're on. When the old Prey had an interesting ship, an interesting weapon selection, like your weapons moved like they were living, and all the enemies seemed different and varied, and the story elements hit, and they were awesome. And there was some decent story elements in Prey 2017, but it was more just like, whoa, you didn't see that twist coming type shit. It was just all twists. It was all twists. Like, even the end of the game is a twist. The beginning of the game is a twist, and you're like, okay, fine, I guess. It's okay. I liked Prey 2017. I just didn't think it was this 10 out of 10 god piece that everybody else did. And when I made my video, I called it Prey 2017, a good game but a terrible shooter. And that pissed people off, and it made me happy. Because my favorite, I don't know if you got a lot of angry comments yet, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's not even that big of a deal. I still, to this day, so this was probably like 6 months ago. It was like the first review I did where it was just like, where I was going to actually do a long form review. It was going to be my first long form review. I'd bought the Warriors on my phone for PS4, but I had a PS5 at that time, so I was going to play the game on my PS5. and the game's broken on PS5. It's got so many fucking issues. It's garbage on PS5. I don't know what the fuck happened between PS5 and 4, but it's so bad. And after I made the video, it got pulled off of the PlayStation 5 store. I'm not saying it's because of me, because only like 20. I think I got like 20K views on that video, so it wasn't like that's a lot when like considering how much money I normally get on videos, or like because I'm still a really small YouTuber, you know. But it was enough to where I was like, damn, I'm doing good. I'm gonna keep doing this YouTube thing. I shouldn't quit it. And I remember like I still get comments to this day where people at the beginning of the video I say so the book for the Warriors came out in 1965. The the game or the movie came out in 1979. When I made the video, I said 1969 is when the movie came out. I still to a minor mistake, and in the description of the video, I say what I did there because I didn't want to re-record that part because it was like such a small part of the video. To this fucking day, I still get comments that say the movie was 1979, bro. Like half of my comments on that video are people saying that it came out in 1979, bro. I mean, it's great for me because that just means more people fucking comment and like it's just like every time it's more views, yeah, more for the algorithm. It's great. Um, I think I did have one guy call me. Yeah, dude, I had one guy call me, and dude, one thing I can tell you: always comment back. Always comment back. Yeah, dude, and because even if they're mad, dude, like give them a thumbs up or something, get them really seething, and perfect for the algorithm, dude. It's great. I had one guy call me my one of my videos clickbait, bro. Dude, I and I was like, I don't understand why you're saying it's clickbait. Well, it's not a pathetic game. And I'm like, I mean, I thought it was pathetic, so I thought it was a pathetic excuse for a game. I literally list the reasons why in the last like quarter of my video is just me fucking raging at this game. So obviously I fucking hate it. And And like he was like, "Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean it's a pathetic excuse for a game. It's clickbait." And I'm like, "All right, dude." And I just kept like arguing with him about why it wasn't clickbait. But yeah, the whole video is just like it was Fable 3. I think Fable 3 is one of the worst games I've ever played. It's not fun. I hate it. I think it's stupid. I think it had like a terrible story. The most interesting thing it did in the whole game was at the beginning it did something it was the first two games are very similar on how they start, and this game took a whole new approach where it seemed like your choices in the game were going to matter even more than the other games, and they matter even less at the end of the game. It's fucking garbage. It's trash. You spend the whole last part of the game just answering yes or no questions for an hour, like 2 hours. I hated it. But it was so funny because this dude was just fucking seething. I didn't realize there. I thought Fable 3 was universally hated. I thought, like, yeah, dude, but I got so many comments of people just telling me that Fable 3 was actually a fucking masterpiece, and I was so confused. Like, Fable 2, I will say, is a masterpiece. That game's fucking amazing. Fable 2 is so much fun. But Fable 3? Nah, dude, there's a reason that studio shut down. Well, that and they made a shitty Connect Fable. That was chosen by them too. They were like, "Oh, you have this Connect thing? What if we did Fable on the Connect?" So they decided to make a Connect Fable, and nobody played it. They're like, "This is a bad game." And they're like, "What are you talking about? It's Fable on the Connect. Why aren't you excited?" And the dude still defends that game to this day. There's a reason they were closed. It's like, bro, it's so funny to me. It's like Don Patrick still defends the Xbox One's release and how they were going to do the everything box in your living room. He's like, that was the right choice, and I'm like, all right, Don Patrick, you basically killed the Xbox, so good for you. We super went off topic though. It's fun though, dude. Ooh. Um, I don't know. GoldenEye was Time Splitter. Was it FPS or what? Oh, Bomberman. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Hmm. Yeah, N64 was not my console, dude. That was like way before my time. Not way before my time. It was like the generation before me. Yeah, because I remember like I would go over to friends' houses and like everybody on my street had Xboxes, right? So we would all play Halo. I was the first one to get the Xbox, and everybody wanted to play Halo. There was like it was like I was the hot man on the in the neighborhood for a while, and then everybody else got theirs, and I was like, oh, nobody wants to come to my house anymore because I have my house has the worst snacks. But I had Halo. I was that guy, and then every once in a while we'd go over to a friend's house who only had an N64, and it was like, oh, we're gonna have to play fucking GoldenEye. Nightfire is so much better. That was literally our thought process every time. We're like, you don't have Nightfire? Like, no, I have an N64. And you're like, why does the reticle move like shit? Why does this game suck? I just remember thinking that. And I tried to play Nightfire when it was put on Game Pass, bro. I was like, not for me, bro. Not for me. I hate this aiming. I also own Time Splitters too, and I hate that game too. Just do not like it. Not fun for me. Well, could you play like Doom or Duke Nukem or Shadow Warrior, the original Shadow Warrior, fucking Castle or a Wolfenstein, any of those fucking old boomer shooters? They play today just as good as they played back then. The aiming still feels great. Everything still feels great. But you play the N64 FPS games, they feel like they were made for that shitty fucking N64 controller. There's not much you can do to change that. It was that weird rare design where the fucking when you wanted to aim at something better, you had to like zoom in on that gay little reticle. It was awful, dude. And like I get it. I get that people love it. I don't want to like tell people they can't love something. What the fuck? Dude, I found a glitch in the game, and it's literally I look at this orb and I'm like, okay, so it's on the other side of this gate. I run to the other side of the gate, and it's on the other side of the gate. So no matter what side of the gate I look at, this orb's on the other side. That's fucking it. It broke my fucking mind, dude. It literally like broke me from the deep parts of my testicles. I probably have testosterone issues now. I mean, you're not wrong. Dude, what is it? Oh, Robotron. Huh, never heard of it. Dude, my dad would play like so my dad got had to go through a couple surgeries one year, so he had like a ton of time off from work where he was like paid vacation because he couldn't go to work because of the surgery. And he he went through and beat every one of my games that were on the console on the hardest difficulty. Like, respect, don't get me wrong, but also that's some psycho behavior. I asked him, I was like, why'd you do it? He's like, after I beat the game, I was like, what else can I do? So he beat Halo 2 on Legendary. I don't, to this day, I got to like mostly through Halo 2 on Legendary, but I don't understand how anybody could find that fun. It's a hard game. Halo 2's Legendary is kind of unfair. There's a reason why Moist Critical gave people like had a $10,000 bounty on if you could play it with lasso on. It's a hard game. Like Halo 1 isn't as hard because like when you run into hunters and stuff, if you shoot them in the back with shoot them in the back with a pistol, they die instantly. But Halo fucking 2 is just mean and unfair, and he just fucking did it. And respect to him. But after that, he didn't want to play video games anymore, which I don't blame him. Like that sounds un. It's like I know a lot of people like trophy hunting. To me, it's literally every time I've thought about doing it, I start doing one of the weird bullshit quests that are like the harder ones. And I'm like, I don't like this anymore. This is ruining the game for me. Yeah, dude, it's not my thing. It is never going to be my thing. Well, that or they just want to keep playing the same game forever, and I can't do that. I want to move on to the next thing. Like if I'm jumping back into a game, it's because I like yeah, that or it's something I can mindlessly play. Like there's a reason why Serious Sam 4 is still on my PlayStation. I can put it on and do anything because I know the game so well. I've already beaten through it. I know that the game is just kill a million enemies and like create chaos. And to me, that's good enough. That's good enough. I know that I can fucking talk about like current events and what my or like Wendigoon bullshit or whatever nonsense is going on the internet. I can have people on my stream and we can talk about shit like we're doing, and I'm not getting too distracted by the game because I've already beaten it. I know how it goes. I know exactly where everything is. Boom, and you die. Oh, yeah, I can still hear you. I just almost died. Oh, not based. It was not the dub in Fortnite that I needed. Yeah, it is negative giving. Dude, I just bought a game physical for the Xbox One. Um, Deadpool. Yeah, yeah. I spent for the cheapest version was the Xbox One version. The 360, the 360, the PS3, and the PlayStation 4 versions are worth the most. But luckily, there's a backwards compatibility feature for the modern consoles. So if you get it on the PS4, it'll play on the PS5, and if you get it on the Xbox One, it'll play on the Series X. So I put it in my Series X, and I've been having so much fun. Oh, look up this 360. It might be just be the 360 and the PS4 versions. The 360 is probably really expensive. That is what site are you looking on? Oh. Oh, well, I'm saying like when you go to buy the game, you will have a hard time getting it for 360 or PS3 for $25. I looked everywhere. I was looking at I ended up buying it for Xbox One because that's the cheapest copy I could find. I don't trust eBay. I've been screwed too many times on eBay. I've been screwed a lot on eBay. I had somebody send me a copy of Blade for the Xbox original, and I was very excited to get Blade because I love Blade. And the game didn't work at all. It didn't. It felt like somebody had glued Blade to the disc, and they weren't. I contacted the thing, wanted my a return, didn't hear anything back for over a week, and luckily I just left a fucking awful review where I one starred them, and within 2 days they messaged me saying, "Hey, you didn't like the game?" And I'm like, "No, it didn't work." Oh well, we can return it as long as you change your review. So I returned it, and then I changed it to a 5-star review because I didn't care. It it wasn't just it looked like somebody had glued a broken version of Blade 2 on top of another, like a shitty disc. I don't know. It felt weird. It felt thicker than it should be. And yeah, it was bad. And it was such a long experience that I haven't done it. And I haven't screwed on other games, but I have been had issues with things coming in broken and then having to go through the same exact fucking process. And I was done with eBay after that. I have some places that I trust now. Uh, the Secret Castle Toys in Kentucky, I trust them because the games I got from them. I also am lucky to have two decent retro stores in Tallahassee, and if I bought this last one off of GameStop and it was perfect. It came in really good shape, which I wasn't sure if I wanted to trust it off GameStop, but it was the cheapest. It was the cheapest copy I could find at the time that wasn't on eBay. And like I said, I had such a bad time with eBay. I didn't want to get my hopes up and then it'd be bad. At least I know that GameStop, you can return it at another GameStop if it's fucked. So I was like, I know GameStops are within 30 minutes of me. I am gonna get this game. Hopefully it works. It came in. I haven't bought an Xbox One game in so long that I forgot they were Blu-ray discs. So it felt weird because I was like, why the fuck is this disc feel so soft? Because like I told you, most games I buy on modern consoles are all digital. Um, and I, yeah, I know you're the opposite, but like go for playing like your PS2 games, and then all of a sudden picking up a PS5 game. It feels fucked. It feels light and flimsy and wrong and plasticky, and you don't know why the fuck it's broken. All right, yeah, I know they're more. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's the fact that oh yeah, DVD sucks. Oh, that's true. That's true. I'm just saying like the feel of it, like the actual like weight of the disc. It feels like and I never had a Blu-ray player, so I never bought any movies on a Blu-ray, right? And like the console I had before the Xbox One was the 360, and I had the 360 like my yeah yeah yeah. It was which is it's funny that PlayStation made their system so fucking hard to develop for, and such a bad console that they couldn't make Blu-rays work. Like they fumbled. Their Xbox One generation was the PS3. That was like such a big fucking mistake. Yeah, I mean, reason PlayStation did decently is because Xbox wasn't in as much countries, but Xbox was killing it in the 360 area. I was like, that was, and the fact that like it was sketchy to buy games for the PS3 because I had a friend that had a PS3 and he hated it, dude. He would always he would get mad that his live was always down. I don't know what it's called. His PlayStation account was always down. Yeah, they had like the PS3 was rough. The thing that I eventually want to get a PS3. No, this is high school shit, bro. This is high school shit. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. This is high school, so I have no idea. Yeah, it was like one of bro. Fuck. This would have been sophomore year. So the console came out in 2008, right? Seven. But like everybody was starting to get them like in high school and stuff. In school, you started to get them in what was it? You got it in fucking like a couple years late. So this would have been like nine, freshman year of high school probably. And the one poor homie that would get like that we knew that had a fucking PS3 hated his life, and he just complained that because we were all playing like fucking Halo, we were playing Gear. They were playing Gears of War. I didn't have a 360, so I was a scrub with the original Xbox. I didn't have anything. Um, so I was just fucking steady scrubbing it. But I was like, my best friend had a Xbox 360, so we play at his house. And that dude, like, always complained in class. He's like, dude, Killzone's fun, but like everything else sucks. I was like, bro, that's not that bad. He's like, well, God of War, I guess. I'm like, yeah, dude. He was just miserable. He was just like so sad about it. And like, well, it's fair because the 360 was the better console to have because everybody else had it and all your friends were playing online together. That was and so with everyone playing fucking Halo 3 and like Gears of War and all this shit and like everybody who had the shit was like playing Left 4 Dead and all this shit and you'd hear everybody talking about it and he was the one guy that was like, "Yeah, I got it, but none of you guys fucking have a PlayStation 3." But then the Xbox One generation happened. See, I didn't even know the Xbox One had that much issues and stuff with people because I bought it. I bought my Xbox One. Yeah, that launch was awful, but I didn't even pay attention to that shit because I had the 360. My buddy bought an Xbox One when it came out, and I bought his old 360. And I fucked with the 360 generation until the One S and One X came out. I didn't get it. I got in late gen, dude. Really late gen. I was out of high school. I was like, I dropped out of college. I was living in Utah, bro, and I was like, fucking. I got no. I was like an hour and a half from Salt Lake. Um, and I just was like, I want an Xbox, so I bought one from a coworker because he bought one for his stepdad, and his stepdad got drunk and punched his car. So he's like, he's not getting shit. I need to sell this Xbox One. I'm like, I'll buy it for $140 right now. So I bought it for $140. Um, and he did it just to spite his stepdad because his stepmom and him went in together on it, and she was like, yeah, you don't have to give it to him now. So he'd only paid like $150 on it anyways. I bought it from him, and I was just happy to play fucking Doom. Uh, I can't remember Doom 2016. Yeah, Doom 20. Yeah, I was happy to play Doom 2016 and Fallout 4, bro. That's all I fucking needed was Fallout 4 modded and Doom 2016. I could give a shit less. I didn't even know about all this gaming stuff. I didn't get into all this shit until I met my wife, and I'd stopped gaming for a while, and then I got back into gaming when because I had some friends that were really into it. And I bought a Call of Duty. I started playing Call of Duty with friends again. Got really back into gaming, and started just playing fucking everything, dude. And I decided, okay, I want the newest console to come out. I knew that I was already an Xbox guy because like all my friends at the like from the past were still on Xbox. So when they would occasionally get on, I wanted to play with them. So I got the Series X and Halo Infinite was out. My wife loves Halo Infinite. Then she bought a Series S, and she plays. We just play Halo. That's like our game. And then I bought a PS5 because I wanted to play some of the games, or a PS4 because I wanted to play some of the games I missed. And I got a tax return and said, "Fuck it, I'll get a PS5 because I want to play." I wanted to play. You should too. How much? Like, unless you make an ungodly amount of money. Dude, I've gotten it like almost every time I've ever filled one out. Well, what time is it? 11:30. That's not too late. Oh, dude, I didn't even get to like the thing about Wendigo and how the dude just like spent him. Oh, yeah, the whole thing was like the whole name of the stream was about Wendigo, and we've yet to barely even talk about it. Like the dude's whole dude. I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it because like my stream VODs don't ever get any clips. I'm not even gonna put a thumbnail on it. I've been like last couple times I streamed, I put a fucking thumbnail on it. It doesn't matter. I never get views on my stream VODs. I don't stream very often. If you're gonna yeah, well, no, I had one after that where I was gonna test some stuff, and I I deleted one because I didn't fully like. I was drunk on one, and I think I deleted that. I don't know. I don't know. I was playing Stray Blade. Well, my audio was fucked up in one of them. That's why I was drunk and my audio was fucked up. So I didn't realize how. Yeah, I might have left it up. I don't know. Some of them I delete depending on like how bad I got in it. Because like even though I'm still new where I won't get like YouTube looking at me too hard, I don't want to end up in a situation like Wendigoon right now where edgy shit from my past is going to be my issue. I mean, I won't give a shit about it. I'll probably take the Turkey Tom approach and double down. But at the same time, well, and I want to do the edgy thing, and the reason I do like the thumbnails I do, and the reason I like have the like curse as much and do everything I do, is so that if anything like were to come up and it's like, oh well, he was like friends with him or he was cringy with him, I have to say like, yeah, dude, I'm an edgy YouTuber. That's my thing. I'm not here to pretend. I literally slap clit in every single video. Like try to like what are you gonna get mad at me about? Who cares? But oh, based. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Well, I mean that's kind of like what Wendigoon said, but people still bring up the fact that he was a Boogaloo Boy back when like had a Boogaloo Boy page and shit like that because of what the Boogaloo Boys contained. Even though he left when they started to get bad like that, people will still try to drag it through the mud. But it's because of they'll use bad faith arguments and shit because they want everybody to like go to their. They just want to be in their same aggro table. Yeah, and I mean, it's just once you make your whole thing like everybody has to agree with you, there's nothing that's going to change that. I mean, you're going to end up with a lot of these people that it's just I fucking hate it, dude. I hate it so much. I hate that we're in this area, and it's just like, oh, you're either on my side or against me, and it's like we can have a discussion about things. We don't have to be just at each other's throat all the time. Grown adults, bro. Yeah, because there is some real issues going on that I think we need reform on. One is the medical system. We need reform on our medical system. The insurance thing is an issue. The FDA has too much power that causes this cost. Like there's a bunch of different issues. Yeah, so yeah, dude, that's yeah, yeah. It's ridiculous. dude. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's stupid. I mean, I started chewing when I was like really young, right? And I would just find somebody that would get it for me when they were at, like somebody in high school would get it for me because it was 18 when I was in high school, and like I don't understand. I don't understand how, as an adult, you can't make your choices like an adult. That bothers me, and it's like that type of overreach. That's like, but then like the same thing, they'll tell you how like weed's not addictive. Is yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, I know it's not addictive, but anything that alters your mind, though, you get addicted to that mind alteration, and that's where it can be addictive. And like the fact that people are like, well, smoking it's not bad for you. I'm like, well, inhaling any smoke is bad for you. Plain and simple. It just is. I mean, you can do it. I'm not like saying you can't do it. I much prefer to hang out with a stoner than a fucking like raging alcoholic. But I I'm not going to sit here and pretend that smoke or like inhaling smoke is good for you. Like yeah, absolutely. 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 Yeah, yeah. People do that all the time. And it's that type of behavior that's like you can. But the thing is, you can get addicted to anything. But to pretend that to have like all these CBD ads and shit like that, and like alcohol ads, when alcohol's like one of the worst. Alcohol's worse than you for you than tobacco is, and like and harder to quit than tobacco is, and yet they're allowed. No, no, no. Factually, this is true because if you become an alcoholic where you're dependent on alcohol, it can get so bad to the point that when you try to quit, they have to wean you off of it, or you die from consumption. Well, yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, well, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing but I mean, like, quitting it isn't going to fucking kill you. And I'm talking about like real alcoholics. I'm talking like fucking 20 years of doing it. Like, I've been chewing for almost 20 or yeah, almost like 20 years, right? So if I decided to quit tomorrow, I would be a little grouchy. Yeah. I would be fucking, it would be rough, but it's not where I'm going to have the shakes. It's not where I'm going to have be like, like throwing up and paranoid and like falling apart mentally and having like physical pains. Like I like with nicotine, I'll have a headache. You know what I mean? It's that's that's where I'm talking about like real addiction. I'm not talking about like you do it every day for a couple years. Um, yeah, because like there is no late stage to nicotine addiction. You're the same addicted as you were from the beginning. It's not gonna change drastically. It's but the late term like alcoholism, you're fucked. So, but they're allowed to advertise on TV all the time, and it's these overlays like that. And I think that there could be like real reform in like with like I said with the FDA and the medical system and like these insurance companies that are kind of a scam that like constantly make your life harder to get like the medical attention you need. Like there could be, I'm not saying socialized medicine, but I'm saying like there could be a better way to do it, and we need like to do an actual reform and before any of these ideas of socializing healthcare, I think the first step should be taking baby steps toward getting a better healthcare system. It's the problem we have now is it's all or nothing, and it's this. The internet has bred people into thinking we need all or nothing, and that's not the best approach ever. I mean, look at Portland when they decriminalized all drugs. The place became a shithole like overnight. I was living there, and it was just this massive shithole of like drug addicts everywhere. And like people started flooding in, and like the streets came. They were already crowded with homeless people, but now they had like double the amount of homeless people. And like I'm not against like the idea of decriminalizing drugs, right? But you need to have instilled ideas on how you're going to do it. You need to have like buildings for the homeless to live. You have to be able to like yeah, like an idea not like forced rehab, but maybe yeah, but maybe an idea where they can check themselves into like a hotel type thing, like our like a homeless shelter, and after well, well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, don't give them money. Give them the option. Say, hey, that you can stay at this homeless shelter, and we will get you work if after a certain amount of time you can get clean. There you go. We're fixing the homeless problem, and we are helping the job force, and then they can work on infrastructure, and we've there solved the infrastructure problems. And it's like ideas like that could really work and really benefit the U.S. as a whole. But it's not an all or nothing take. It's like we do a little bit here, a little bit there. All of a sudden we're yeah. Well, and I don't think it would be as hard because feel like something like that could gain some bipartisan approval. But the problem now is yeah, and the problem now is it's like you got the right. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Let me just finish this real quick. You got the right out there saying, okay, we just need to like crack down hard and go back to like the '80s idea, which didn't work. It didn't fucking work. Well, and then you have the left saying we need to go in the complete opposite and just go like give all these people free healthcare and let them do all the drugs they want. And it's like both of your options fucking suck. You need to you need to find someplace in the middle. But baby, go ahead. Uh, it's bad everywhere. It's bad everywhere. It's not. Yeah, Appalachia's fucked, dude. Appalachia's fucked. Yeah. Yeah. I I do think that the problem with the rhetoric of like the war on drugs rhetoric is it you get more people with honey than you do like you know what I mean like vinegar more you get more people with honey than vinegar. So I think if you like talk to people like they're people and say like listen like I understand you're on down bad times. I know that you have this dependency, but here is an option. Here is a legitimate option before like police get involved, before you get to the point where you have the option of getting caught and put in jail. You have this avenue where you can like get a job for the city, building roads or whatever, and here's a living thing, and all you have to do is the first month we won't drug test you, but if you flunk out on that, then then you're in trouble. Or if give them that option Because like another issue we have in the U.S. right now is we used to have a program where if you were a light offender in the U.S., you could have the option instead of going to jail, go to the military, and we removed that. And I think that was such a mistake because a lot of people just are lost. A lot of people don't have direction in their life, and sometimes military will give you. It could really do that. Yeah, exactly. And I just think there's a lot of outlets that we could be looking at to protect people and like show them that they have value and there's stuff like that that I think that could be very bipartisan. But again, we're into this is my team, this is your team, like who's going to the Super Bowl type thing. Well, you hear that, and then the Israel thing pops up, but like, and then you have both sides wanting the support a different side of that war. I'm very against both sides. I just I don't care either, and I hate that like I just mm, no. Mm, yeah, 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 and I don't like either side of it. I feel like both sides are downplaying the atrocities of the other, and to me, that's just as wrong as like in your root. It's like hard for me to ever root for a side on war. Like it's oh, it's such muddy water. It's such muddy water. Yeah, and the yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, and I just feel like us getting involved caused the problems of now, and I just see that like it's like when Charlie Wilson supplied people, or like Charlie Wilson helped supply, I think it was Afghanistan with weapons to fight Russia. Then those same weapons were then used to fight, or yeah, and then they were then used against us in the Afghan war. I mean, it's you, you're you're putting yourself in a very tricky or situation that could later be a problem. Well, yeah, I know we weren't. I know we weren't, but that's the thing. That's the bet you hedged. You know what I mean? This is the bed that we laid in, and if we do the same thing now, like we've provided uh, Israel with a lot of weapons and stuff. Well, one day if Israel decides because like we decide to help Palestine too or something, then they decide to not like us. Oh, well now they're using our technology against us, and it's to me that's the scary thing is like oh so we're I don't know I know that. Oh, we are doing it. We are doing a poor job. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's the whole thing's just tough. It's so hard to talk about it too because of how like even now I look at it as like I don't want I don't like want to support either side because I don't like war. And I don't I also the history's so muddy and the issues are so deep. Like, and that's even like the Ukraine thing. Even that one gets like where I don't want to support either side because you look at what started this whole thing was the UN hating on Russia. The whole thing started because the UN decided to say "fuck you, Russia." We know that you used to be the USSR and you're trying to turn over a new leaf. We still hate you. You're still the country you used to be. And the last well, and what happened was the last guy before Putin was trying to become a part of the UN, trying to become a part of NATO, and we are like NATO just said "fuck you," and Putin got power um, because he basically said the Western world fucking hates us, and they're never going to like us. We should stop trying, and we should try to bring the USSR back because at least then we had respect and he won the election because of that. So if you want to look back on it, we caused a lot of this. If we would have just like if us and the UN would have been like, okay, yeah, Russia, you can be at the table, you can have some fun, and we'll be friends. This probably would have never happened, but because we treated the country like a Russian or like a redheaded stepchild, we then created uh this this animosity to the rest of toward the rest of the Western world, and this idea of bringing the SSR back was instilled into the Russian populace, which then led to where we're at now. And that's where the complexities come up because it's like, yeah, I don't want to support Russia, but I also like Ukraine is also a very has always been a very corrupt country, so dude, it's such muddy waters, bro. And this is like what's sketchy about politics, and it's just like it's such sketchy waters, and the fact that like I don't like talking about any of it until I have like a lot of background information on both sides because I don't want to just be the guy that's spouting nonsense. You know what I mean? And because it's so easy to do in today's day and age, you can still give your opinion. You can still give your opinion, but like right now, yeah, yeah, 100%. It's just like how it's not like how publicly it looks. I don't give a shit about that. But it's almost like because I'm doing it on an open platform and I'm saying it like I don't want people to like look at me and be like, oh well, you were wrong on this. Yeah, you're a political guy. I don't want to be that. You know what I mean? Because like then I would want like if I were to ever grift politics, and I don't ever want to like grift anything, but if I were to do it, I would want to have as much information as possible always, and it would drive me up a fucking wall. It would drive me nuts. It would make you depressed, because like the more you look into all of this stuff, the more depressed you get. The more what? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That sounds about right. Yeah, dude. No, you're good. That's actually really interesting. Well, I actually just watched a history video recently about I can't remember what it was called, and I can't even remember who made it. I went to look it up recently and I forgot what it was called. But I'm gonna tell you this, and then I think I'm gonna get off for the night because I gotta pee and it's almost midnight. But there was this operation that the U.S. government did, and not like an operation, but it was basically they reached out to a bunch of different gun companies like FN, Colt, all of them. Just wrote a blank check to all of these different gun companies because the M16, they wanted to replace the M16 and they wanted something more accurate. So they put out these fucking blank checks to everyone, and they came up with some of the goofiest designs and some of the most space age looking weaponry that you've seen probably in sci-fi movies that you didn't know were actually real things, but they are. Well, at the end of this, the person who won the contract was Colt. The same people who designed the M16, they won again. You know what they built? They built the M16. Everything was the same. The only thing they changed was the ammo, and they put two bullets stacked on top of each other in the casing and added a scope to the gun. Because the scope was made it more accurate, that's the gun that won. And they said we don't need to change the ammo, we'll leave it the same. So the government spent billions and billions of dollars to find out that scopes make guns more accurate. Bro, it's like, and the M4 is literally just the M16 with the fucking scope. Yeah, yeah, I mean it but yeah, but it was the same gun. Oh no, the M4 I think was later actually. The M4 was even after that. Yeah, but anyways, it was just like the dumbest fucking thing. Like, and this is why I don't like. For me, like, I've always been really anti-establishment because I just see like we're gonna pour money into all of these fucking like the government's gonna pour money into fucking useless shit, and then I'm gonna have to pretend that it's not useless because why? I shouldn't have to. Yeah, but what else could have the defense budget been worked on? Like you're not telling me that there wasn't anybody in the military that they could have asked in the higher ups and been like, "Hey, what do you think would have made this gun more accurate?" And you know what happened in that time frame? People had reported that if you would, they would have put a sight like an actual like low level scope optic on the gun. They had said that that would work. Generals had said this will make the gun better. They didn't listen to any of those. They spent billions of dollars. So it's a waste of money. And that's what pisses me off. And every government does it. I understand that. I understand that. But I'm saying like I mean, they didn't. The before the M4, they literally didn't change anything with M16 other than putting an optic on it. That was the big change, and then eventually they started cutting down weight and turning it into the M4. But I'm saying at that time, if they would have listened to some other people and said, "Hey," because the optic doesn't come with the gun; it's an optic from another like Colt supply. Like they literally just bought the optics from Colt, so they added it to the gun. They're like, oh, so you can add an optic to a gun because optics aren't built into the gun ever. So they're attachable. So literally, they found out with billions of dollars they could attach, and the optic that they got is only like it was like at the time like $60, and it's like that's the type of oversight that pisses me off, and it's like decisions like that you know went through tons and tons of people through Congress and everything, and not one person stood up and been like, you know, the problem is that if the problem is accuracy, have you thought about putting a scope on it? Everyone could have looked around and been like, oh shit, we can add scopes to the guns. And then they could have just talked to Colt and been like, hey, can you do a few design modifications to maybe make it lighter and add a scope? Instead of sending billions of dollars to a bunch of different companies to make sci fi fucking weapons that sucked. And Yeah, it's just like that type of shit, like, constantly is happening. It was after. It was after.
Mm-hmm.
It was after. It was, this would have been right after the Vietnam War. Like, because the Vietnam War, they didn't have optics. So there was a time period in there where there wasn't really any wars going on. And then when we, yeah, and then when we went into Desert Storm, we had optics on our guns by then. But anyways, man, I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah, but the thing is what gets me is the lack of understanding. Like, I feel like if you're gonna have a job where you're gonna make big decisions with big money for the government, you should have a good understanding of all about this shit. You should sit down, do a lot of research, and when you go through this process, you should think like, okay, let's talk to the head, have people put out like a memo to the different heads of different branches of the military, say what was the problems you are having with this current piece of machinery. Okay, well, therefore, this is the problem. How can we fix that? Okay, we're going to reach out to these different companies and say, we want a gun that is very similar to the gun we have now, same caliber. What? That way we don't have to spend billions on extra ammunition. We want it lighter and more accurate. Make me that gun. Then we can come up with something. But to just simply look at gun or look at companies and say, here's a blank check, when there has been problems, there's problems on actual U.S. soil that could be fixed in a much better capacity. And instead of a blank check, say, okay, like, this is how much it costs us every year to have these guns manufactured. Let's give them a small portion of that to create these guns. A lot of times with these government projects, they are writing blank checks until one day they just decide to cut the spending. And that's when those projects die. So instead of just writing you blank checks, let's give you a time frame and an amount of money. And that's where a lot of these issues arise. This is why we end up with projects like that chick jerking off a dolphin and paying for government money. I don't know if you know about that one either. It was a project, I think it was in the 70s, where they were testing out dolphins' capacities for like knowledge and stuff, and then it ended up being just like this lady jerking off a dolphin for like 6 months. And we spent money on that. Like, if you and you get into like Wendigoon's a great. I've watched a lot of great Wendigoon videos and some other ones talking about like Ruby Ridge. You got like Waco. You also have like this. I think it was the Filipino vampire. I think it was Filipino, or it might have been. I can't remember what country it was in. But the whole thing was about, there was this group of people. There was like a rebellion, but in that there was a local legend about a creature like a vampire in the area. So what they did was they snuck in, they took one of the guards, killed him, hung him up by side down, and then stabbed two holes in his neck with like an ice pick, and then hung him there to make the people think that a vampire had killed him. That is a legit operation that actually happened. And we're doing shit like that, and like, it's so stupid. Yeah, it was a CIA garbage operation. It's just, and like there's just all these, we've created a country, and like a lot of people want to blame like capitalism, and there is blame to be put on capitalism, because we have set in with all of these branches of government to where they're tied to big corporations like the FDA and stuff, where we've set up a crony capitalism which has hurt the free market. And I think the free market is the best way to counteract a lot of the issues we have in current America. But instead of that, we have a lot of companies that are tied to the government in all these different ways, because we have all these different organizations that we just started fucking throwing out there, like the FDA, the EPA, and these companies have strong ties into it. And when you have that crony capitalism, you start just making them a part of the government, which eventually will cause huge issues. And I think a lot of the problem with where people on both the left and the right are having issues right now is they're not wanting to back down on some of the ideals. Like the far left is like, oh, like the only way to fix it is socialism, and it's like, well, it hasn't worked for other countries. And then the right's like, well, we have to keep everything the same, and it's like, well, I mean, the free market's the best path. So if we could just move things back a bit, cut a lot of these government agencies, and just like let some of these businesses do what they do and only bust up monopolies and when they try to like bust things up when they try to become monopolies or when they have too much close ties to the government, stop protecting them and just let them live and die on their own 2 feet. I think we'd be in a much better place as a country, and then we can start looking at how to fix it from there. I think that would be the better choice. But again, I'm just a video game guy that wanted to talk about the Wendigoon drama, and then I got on tangents because this has been fucking fun. I like they're fun. I mean, that's how everything goes, though. I don't think I've watched a single person stream who has had somebody else on and they didn't end up in a fucking topic that they had no idea what they were, where they were at. I mean, like, every one of Turkey Tom's streams end up this way. Tommy C, you got fucking even podcasts where they have people on end up in weird places. But all right, I think I'm gonna get off for the night. It's been fun. It's been great. I really have to pee, and I'm very tired. It was been a pleasure calling me, Mike. I will add your link into the VOD. Did you comment on the stream? I don't worry about it. I will add you to the description because I don't think you can see the comments after I end the stream. So I will add you in to have people tell people to go follow you. Um, if people watch this, again, my VODs don't get a lot of fucking views. But anyways, buddy, I'll catch you later. Thank you so much for coming on.